Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at this, the TaylorMade M6 driver. Now, the reason I picked this up for you guys is because right now on secondhand stores, so such as Golf Bidder over here in the UK, Golf Clubs for Cash, you can pick this up for under £150. Now on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, you can pick it up for a little bit cheaper, and I'll discuss that later on in the video. But this potentially could be a great driver for someone who's starting or who has been playing for a while and just obviously wants to improve their equipment, to go and get and not spend the big bucks on a brand new driver. As I've always said about sort of the older clubs, and this whole sort of channel's about, I don't just review the brand new stuff when I get my hands on it, but I also review the older stuff because, to be honest, there's not that much difference. Putting it in the hands of someone such as myself, that mid handicapper, playing off 10.9 at the moment, very much your average golfer with a very dodgy swing, I will add, I'm necessarily not going to notice that much of a difference between this and, say, the Stealth 2 that's currently in my bag. Don't get me wrong, if you're swinging at 115 miles per hour plus and you're a scratch, then yes, you might know a slight difference, but it's really not going to be that much. I mean, you watch all the PGA professionals out there, such as Rick Shields, etc., when they do older clubs versus newer clubs, there's only ever a slight difference in it because under rules, you can only have a driver with such a thin face, such a capacity, etc., that have already hit those limits years ago. So there's really not that much difference. So yeah, so that's why I picked up, because potentially it could be a great bargain for you guys out there watching. So as always, we'll have a closer look at the club. Then we're going to come back here, talk about the technology that's in it. Then we'll get down to the range, show some figures at you, throw some figures at you, I will say. Then we'll get back in the office, go through the ACS golf scale, and then I'll obviously give you my general opinion about this club. I will add, I have done a versus with this club, the M6 versus my Stealth 2. So do check that out to find out who the winner was there. Not too much of a difference, as I mentioned, but do go and check that on my channel. And also remember, guys, if you're new, do subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss all of the upcoming reviews that I have, new, old, weird, etc., when it comes down to golf clubs, and also the odd sort of versus video and a few other things thrown in there as well. So do remember to hit that subscribe and the bell icon so you do not miss out. Now, let's have a closer look at this club.
And just like that, it is now nighttime in the UK. The joys of doing videos in the UK in the winter. Literally, the sun was on the horizon, so it's nice and bright in here a second ago, and then it's just gone down now, and it's pitch black everywhere. But anyway, the show must go on. So, close look at the club. Really good looking club. I like the M6. The decor around it. I really do like the red. I like the black. I like the silver. I do like that carbon crown and the silver around there. I've always preferred a little lip, to be honest. This year, all the clubs seem to have got rid of them. I know the TaylorMade have. We got the carbon fibre straight up to the front. But, as someone who, let's be honest, mid-handicapper, every now and again, I'm going to hit the top of that crown. If it's a carbon fibre right up to it, sometimes you can see it still. So I've always preferred them because it's obviously a little bit of protection of that, and obviously they've got reasons for that anyway, technology-wise. But anyway, moving on. A good-looking club. I will say a little bit squashed. I don't know why, but it just seems to be a little bit sort of rotund, if that makes sense. It just seems to be a bit squashed, obviously making it more forgiving. But anyway, let's get into the technology about this club. And this really cracks me up, the first thing, because this is on TaylorMade's website, and this is what I find really interesting. So it goes, go ahead, it's perfectly legal. First, we twisted the face. Now we've injected it. Speed injected twist face features a revolutionary new process of calibrating every individual head to the threshold of the legal speed limit allowed by the USGA and R&A. With the M5 and M6, the rest of your foursome doesn't stand a chance. Get ready, send it. Well, hold on. If they've already reached the speed limit, why are they bringing out new clubs every year? Why are they saying they've improved new clubs if they've already reached the maximum allowance for it? Because it hasn't changed over the years, and that's what I mean when you look at older clubs. If you go 4 years back for this, there's not that much difference between the new ones, and you can really save your money by going second hand. But obviously do check this out against the Stealth 2, my video, but it just screams that straight away. And also you go, well, hold on, is that really true from TaylorMade? I mean, one thing I will say, when I did the video against the Stealth 2, I was getting better ball speed with the Stealth 2, but yeah, that could be well, no, it wasn't the shaft actually, because they both had the same shaft in it. So, well, they clearly can't have been, because I was getting more ball speed with that. But anyway, let's move on. But it's just fascinating, really, when they say these things, because you do sort of look at next year and go, well, hold on, if you reach the max, why are you bringing out something new? But anyway, that's what they do. So continuing on with the technology. So again, juiced up with speed injected twist phase, every M6 driver has been individually calibrated and injected to reach the threshold of the legal limit of ball speed. Step up to the tee with the confidence of having a driver that is engineered to make everybody faster. That's power of speed injected technology, which they've done through these little ports. And just a heads up as well, M6, you can every now and again find fake ones online. One good way of doing it is to have a look at these ports, because some of them look like they're stuck on rather than this, where they've actually are actual ports. So keep an eye out for that if you're looking at one of these and you think it's a bit suspect. Moving on, we have longer and straighter with twist face. Twist face technology is continued and is still continued, and I'm going to confirm this. There you go. On the Stealth 2, I don't know if you can see that because of the light, but right there it says twist face. So they've kept it going, they haven't stopped it. It's technology that's been for a while and something that they really enjoy using. So twist face features a revolutionary face curvature that has been engineered to reduce side spin and deliver straighter shots on off-centered strikes. I get on with it quite well. I do know some people who do not like it at all. I think if you guys ever watch Rick Shields, he's not a fan of twist face. It doesn't perform for him. For me, I don't really have a massive slice anyway, so again, doesn't really perform for me, but I'm pretty consistent with both drivers. So there you go. I was pretty happy with that technology, to be honest. Do I notice a difference between these and other ones? Here or there, Anyway, moving on, forgiveness through inertia. So the aerodynamic all-carbon sole creates weight that is being moved to allow for 46 grams of mass to be placed low and back to increase MOI. So you've got some weight there. Increase MOI and lower CG with centre of gravity. This inertia generator creates more forgiveness and higher launch and lower spin, which we all want. We all want to get that ball in the air, and lower spin obviously helps it to go further. For me, because my tang angle is awful and my swing, I actually prefer a little bit more spin, because it helps me get the ball in the air and stay in the air, because my tang angle, you need really drive a 14 plus. I'm normally averaging around 11, 12 if I'm lucky. So food for thought there regarding the low spin. Obviously, moving on, you do have it, even though there's no technical adjustability with this, no moving weights, obviously you have the standard TaylorMade sleeve where you can increase the loft by 2. So this is 9 degree, you could go up to 11 or decrease it to down to 7. And obviously then close and open the face as well to increase a draw or maybe get a fade in. And looking at the difference between these two, not a huge amount of difference there. You can sort of see some of the technology coming into it. Obviously there's a weight there, but not a huge amount there. I'll actually show you property. Both carbon on the bottom, both carbon on the top, both got the ring around that I was mentioning a second ago, both got a weight at the back. That's 25 gram weight though. You see, and that's 46 grams. There you go. So maybe even a bit more weight at the back there. Very similar. And they've still got this speed, speed pocket? Yeah, speed pocket there as well. Obviously the technology that's moved on a little bit because it's covered up there, but still not, it's quite similar golf clubs. Not a huge amount has changed over 4 years, and that shows it. Just going into all the other models, by the way, so at the same time they're releasing this, 2019, you had the M5, which is a low spin 460cc, which had all the adjustability. M6 they're saying was also low spin, so do be aware of that. You then had the M5 Tour, which was 435cc head, so not full 460. And that was ultra low spinning. That was obviously the Tour spec driver. And then you had the M6D type, which is the HD version of your TaylorMade nowadays, which was that sort of more mid-spin draw aspect to obviously help you get rid of that slice. So there you go. There's all the technology in this club. Now let's get down to the range. I'll throw some figures at you, and then we will get back in here for the ACS golf scale. All right. So here we are down the range. First of all, though, I'm going to tell you the setup I had for this club. So it's a regular shaft with a 9-degree head, which I kept there. Not exactly the specs for me. Normally I'm stiff and I have a high degree head because, to be honest, my swing is so awful. As you can see in this, I need that loft to help get the ball in the air, but a regular, because of my swing speed, I'm not that consistent with it as I am with a stiff shaft. So anyway, I kept it like that because I just want to give it a go, really, to be honest, and see if that could help me gain some more distance. Now, jumping straight into those figures, so on average I had a carry of 219 yards, total distance of 256 yards, which is about 6 above my sort of average that I'd want. Ball speed 149 miles per hour, which is pretty much spot on. Launch angle 12, which is pretty much spot on for me, and height 64 feet. So really the height was actually a little bit lower than I expected, which comes down to the club maybe spinning a little bit lower than I want. Normally I'd want that height around sort of the 74, 70 mark, which just shows the spin helps to keep it in the ball in the air for longer, which really did show, because at one point I hit one which was 154 miles per hour ball speed. Launch angle still 12, but height was 74 feet, so obviously got the spin up a bit, and I managed to get a carry of 240 and a total distance of 273, which was really happy with. Club head speed was 98 miles per hour, which is pretty much exactly where I want to be, so was happy in that aspect. Okay, let's jump into the ACS golf scale. Before I do though, one thing I will add is I did this test in a regular shaft, Atmos regular shaft. And one thing I will say about this is my swing speed on average, as I've mentioned before, was about 98 on the day. A few of them, were over 100. And being a regular, it was a bit all over the place. And that's the thing, if you're swinging too fast for sort of the club you've got, then you don't have much control on it. And so when you saw those videos, some of the shots were a bit all over the place. I will say, the moment I put this into the stiff, my Ventus shaft that I always use, I literally hit 4 exactly the same shots, a little bit push out right, and then draw back in. So consistency is definitely there, even though technically with these figures, because of the regular shaft, definitely affected them a little bit. When I put it in the stiff, I definitely got a lot of consistency, especially with the ball flight. So was happy with that, and I thought I'd just add that in there for you guys just then. But anyway, so as I mentioned before, 250 on average for me is a good day. So 256, very happy with that. For total yards, carrying distance 219, maybe expect a little bit more than that, which I think comes down to that low spin. It mentioned that it is a bit more of a low spin driver. Launch angle I was only getting 12, and height on average 64, so I wasn't quite getting that spin for me to get that ball to go up and get more carry, which for me with my attack angle I need. When I did manage to get the spin right, so here I got 154 miles per hour ball speed. So the ball speed, by the way, was 149, just below that sort of mark. I want the 150. And here it was still a launch angle of 12, but the height was 74. Carry was 240, total distance was 273, which was actually the longest on the day that I hit. And I was doing a competition as well against this, and I didn't get that up to 273 on the day. Even though in the Ventus shaft, that was the longest. So the longest on the day was actually this. And I got height of 74 there. So launch angle 12, height 74. So I got a little bit more spin with that. Obviously with the ball speed, I was swinging a little bit faster and managed to just, even though it came out at 12 degrees, managed to get spinning for me right to get maximum distance. So overall, very happy with it. So when it comes down to distance, I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. Remember the ACS golf scale, by the way, if you're new to the channel, I've got distance, feel, looks, price, forgiveness, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. and I've given this 3.5 out of 5. Now, I've given it 3.5 out of 5, not necessarily because of distance, because the 250 is there, 100%. It's because the ball speed was slightly lower on average than my Stealth 2. And my Stealth 2 I gave a 4 to. So that's why I've given this a 3.5 out of 5. And spoilers out there, the Stealth 2 on average did beat this by quite a bit, actually, I think, when we did it. So do check out the video of the M6 versus the Stealth. I think I plugged that about 3 times now. So I just can't put it at the same value as the Stealth 2. I don't think it would be quite fair putting this as a 4, because the Stealth 2 for me was a 4. So 3.5 out of 5. If I was doing quarters, which I don't want to get into because it's just going to be crazy, it would probably be a 3.75 out of 5, to be honest. It is just below the 4 mark, but I've rounded it down to 3.5. So very good distance, can't complain with it. So there you go. Moving on to feel, 3.5 out of 5. Felt nice across the face. Actually randomly preferred the carbon feel of the new driver, the new Stealth, but that's just me. That's what I like. But generally, really nice feel off the face. Felt powerful, felt forgiving, and I could tell where my off hits were as well, which was quite nice. So happy with the feel, 3.5 out of 5. Cannot complain. Moving on to looks, I've given it a 3.5 out of 5. I do love the top of that club. I do, even like the bottom. I like the colour scheme. It's a little bit, like I mentioned, a little bit squat for me. I think if that was just a little bit bigger, it would have made it look a bit more chunkier and therefore more suited for my eyes. I like quite a compact driver, even though my Stealth 2 is probably not what you say is a compact driver, but I prefer sort of a compact driver. So there you go. But 3.5 out of 5, I still think it's a very good looking club. Now, going on to forgiveness, again, not a very forgiving club. 3.5 out of 5, sorry. Very forgiving club. Very happy with it. But again, because I gave the Stealth a 4, I just can't give it a 4. I mean, if we're looking at the figures, like I said, I did use that regular shaft. So it does mean there were a few hits where I wasn't quite in the middle, and I was getting 143 ball speed, so the ball speed was dropping down for that 149, but they were not great shots. But both of them got over the 240 mark. So, 10 yards short with a really bad hit, which they both were, can't really complain. So forgiveness, 3.5 out of 5. Again, not quite there with the 4, because it wasn't quite forgiving as the Stealth 2, but 3.5 out of 5 is definitely a lot of forgiveness in there, especially for a beginner or anyone who just wants that little bit more forgiveness. So not bad at all. Now on to price. Now this is where it gets really interesting, and this is why I think this is potentially an absolute winner out there, because let's be honest, I mean, it's 3.5 across the board at the moment, which is above average. 2.5 is technically average, so it's performing really well. Because remember, this isn't the longest model. The M5 is the longest model. It was the more forgiving model, but it's not a ping. Let's be honest, the pings are the most forgiving ones for TaylorMade. You more about distance. Now, feel was good, looks good. So price. Now, as I mentioned, Golf Bidder, you can get this for £148.99. That's around $185, $190 second hand, in not bad condition. Golf Bidder, they're never really that bad, to be honest, and not bad condition. So really happy with that. And if you're going on eBay, it fluctuates a little bit, but on eBay on average, you can probably pick this up. Now I've seen one go for £102, that's around $130. Another one £126, that's about $160. You can get this around that sort of 120, probably 130 mark on average, which for this type of club is a bargain. It's an absolute bargain. And if you're looking on Golf Bidder for other options under 150, you've got a Mizuno STX 220, which is this, last year's model Mizuno, which is a very good club. Is it going to go longer than this? I wouldn't say so, no. It probably, it's not until this year that Mizuno really sort of caught up distance-wise. Still a very good club, bags of forgiveness, but distance-wise, it's only until this year they've actually sort of caught up. Cobra Ride Speed Extreme, yeah, okay, maybe similar. TaylorMade M4 D-Type. Well, hold on, that was a previous model. Why is that the same price as this one? Okay, definitely go for this one personally. I prefer the look of this one as well. Cobra King F9, okay, that was a great driver from Cobra, it really was. So overall, absolutely great. So 4 out of 5, personally, I think, for price of this, I think it's an absolute winner. I think if you're looking for that 150 mark, go and give this a go, because you will not be disappointed. I think it was a great driver. I could quite happily put it in the bag, even though technically it lost to the Stealth. I could put it in the bag and be very happy with this and take this on the golf course every day, to be honest. It is a great driver. And all the M ranges, to be fair, I still know people who play the M2, which is the 2016 model. Justin Rose keeps on putting the M2 back in the bag every now and again. The M range from TaylorMade is really good, and it's definitely worth keeping an eye out on the second-hand market. It really is. Now, curveball though, at the moment, because if you're watching this right now, well, when it came out and maybe a week later or 2 weeks later, if we're looking on Golf Bidder still, there was another club that they actually had on sale, which is at the same price point, which was this. And I think this is an absolute steal for this, and this is why I'm mentioning it. Get it out. And it was a Cobra LTDX. Not this one. This is the blacked out version, which is a limited edition. But the original Cobra LTDX, you can pick up from Golf Bidder for under £150. I had this, you know, this is last year's model for Cobra. I had this in the bag. I love it. I don't know why I've taken it out of the bag. Don't be surprised if you suddenly see this in the bag soon, in the next, you know, what's in your bag, to be honest, because it's such a great club. So do be aware, at the moment, I'd go for that. I really would. That's a sort of little bombshell at the end. But, you know, in a second, you could be watching this in maybe in 2024, and that's gone back to normal price. So, but if you're looking at this right now, do be aware of the price of that. Okay guys, a little curveball at the end there for you, but that's the whole point of these videos, you know, trying to find the best deals for you guys to go out and enjoy golf. So overall, there you go, my review of the M6 TaylorMade driver. Great club, really happy with it, and personally a bargain for under £150. I really do think it is. Now, do comment down below, you know, do you play any of the M's? Have you played like the M2, the M3? You know, have you played the M6 driver? Let me know what you do think of it. Also, do give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out any reviews coming up, and versus, which will relate to that Cobra LTDX versus another Cobra driver shortly. And also remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, or watch the YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to the Instagram channel, so acs.golf. Gives you a little insight of things coming up. Okay guys, again, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next week for the next ACS Golf Review. See you then, have a good week, bye bye.